God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I am here. Reveal your purpose to me.
Exodus 3. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock to the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire, out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows, and I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land unto a good land, and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppress them. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. And Moses said unto God, Who am I that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, Certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee, that I have sent thee. When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve God upon this mountain. And Moses said unto God, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, The God of your fathers has sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. And God said moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, The Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, hath sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. Go and gather the elders of Israel together, and say unto them, The Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you, and seen that which is done to you in Egypt. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt, unto the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, unto a land flowing with milk and honey. And they shall hearken to thy voice, and thou shalt come, thou and the elders of Israel, unto the king of Egypt, and ye shall say unto him, The Lord God of the Hebrews hath met with us. And now let us go, we beseech thee, 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. And I am sure that the king of Egypt will not let you go, no, not by a mighty hand. And I will stretch out my hand, and smite Egypt with all my wonders which I will do in the midst thereof. And after that, he will let you go.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Hashem, Makakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. All right. And what I want to get into this morning, this morning news and prophecy is dealing with, technocracy, all right, which is what these devils, want to accomplish in the earth. All right. These elites, all right, beginning with, the Rothschild banking families, these certain elite Edomite oligarch families, okay, that control, okay, the earth, through debt, through constant debt, through enchantments and witchcraft. Okay, these devils, they rule the earth. Okay, and what we're seeing, is the Lord is beginning to snatch away their empire. All right, and in the midst of that, this devil is trying to attempt to throw up a technocracy, man. And it's been a long time in the making. Okay, and the Heavenly Father is forcing this devil to go with his move. Okay, making this devil, move fast, with urgency. All right, because what we always say, time is not on this devil's side, man. And then we're going to war because this war, all right, is going to dismantle everything that the devil is trying to establish. Okay, this war is going to grow out of control as more nations continue to, join this war. Okay, it's going to grow beyond, okay, what these devils can contain, and ultimately it's going to end everything that they're trying to establish. Okay, this very war that these devils started to try to establish this new world order, to establish a global reset, and then to bring about a global reset, and then establish a technocracy. Well, this same war is going to destroy and end this man's empire, man. Okay, and he's going to end up in slavery. You see, so the Most High, all right, snared Esau in the trick bag, man. Okay, you damn dummy. You see, and if he was so smart, then he would know that the devil was a trick. Okay, if he was so goddamn wise and smart, and you know, he would know that damn the scriptures say what this lead to. You know, like one of the brothers said, dealing with who they were, Doughboy, on Boys in the Hood. And he said he was going to the store. All right, and Ricky told him, "Nigga, you ain't got no money." He said, "I'm going anyway." Okay, that's Esau's spirit. All right, this is a dumbass plan. The Most High constantly speaks on how he's going to throw down, okay, what this devil attempts to establish. Scriptures tell this nigga, all right, that Sodom and Gomorrah was an example for a nation that should live after. Okay, and what does Esau do? He does it any goddamn way. Shows you that he's not in control. Okay, and he's not this wise, all-knowing nigga that he projected himself to be, man. The fact that he's trying to do this shows how foolish, all right, this man really is. Okay, so let's get this, um, get some precepts. Then we got a few videos, a lot going on. All right, so we got a few things to tap into, man. It's beautiful times, man. Going into the Passover with all this prophecy, man. Prophecy is on fire. Going into the time of the Passover, this is beautiful, man. Hey, the Heavenly Father getting ready to exit us out of here soon, man. You know, salvation is nearer than we believe. Okay, so let's matter of fact, let's get this first. See the brother posted this the brother Yaqub, the hopeful leg 3, Job 18:10. It said the snare is laid for him in the ground, and that snare in the ground is these missiles, man. All right, because if this war continues to escalate, eventually it's gonna go nuclear, man. This devil is trying to spin off his technocracy while this war is going on. Okay, when he gets to a certain point, when he makes this MOTB mandatory, guess what, man? This war is gonna go nuclear, man. Okay, way beyond what this devil can contain, man. Esau doesn't know the effects of all them nukes hitting the earth at one time, man. Okay, well, he's going to find out real time. Okay, and that's the end of this, man. Those nukes coming out those silos, because that's when your house shot is going to show up. Okay, That's when Yahweh Shai is going to show up and get busy with all these heathen, man. You know? So this devil, all right, he he set a snare for himself, first by going, the devil, because as the scriptures say, these are the weapons of the Lord's in the nation. Okay, and what did Esau do? He created these weapons, and then he mass produced them. All right, and then he reckless. Now all these other nations, there's several other nations that have this type of weaponry, man. The ability to produce this weaponry, man. A wise king would say, look, this is too powerful, man. If we mass produce this, why would we create weaponry on the earth that could destroy the earth that we live on? You know, a wise king would be like, look, scrap that, hey, make this, illegal to do this, man. Make this illegal to come up with this, man. You see, but nah, man, it's the Lord's will playing out. Okay, so this devil, the Lord put the spirit on the devil to come up with this technology or this weaponry. All right, splitting the atoms. Okay, hydrogen bombs, and you get into the science of that. But the Lord allowed the devil to tap in, mass produce it. Okay, them teams came up with those with rocket technology, which that's what's used to project those warheads. Okay, so they put the spirit on these Temanites to come with this rocket technology, and all this is a snare to Esau, man. Okay, it's a snare. Everything that he's created with his hands is now a snare to this nigga, man. Okay, he created, these constant conflicts and wars. He's always manipulating these nations to be at war. Okay, well, that's gonna be a snare to this devil, man. So that snare that is laid in the ground, okay, is a trap for Esau, man. And says, and a trap for him in the way, yeah, on his way, all right, on his path to try to accomplish this new world order. Well, this war that he started, to attempt to pull this off, is going to be a snare to him. It's going to trap him on his way to trying to pull this off, man. Okay, America going to be obliterated with all these data centers. Okay, because America has a third of the world's data centers, man. And they're planning on doing damn near doubling what they got now, which will make them have over 50% of the world's data center, which is what the brain of the AI. Okay, but guess what? Nukes are going to destroy all that, man. Okay, so this devil's all right. His master plan is going to be destroyed. All right, through prophecy, through the will of Yahweh by Shema Shai. Okay, which is going to be through war. All right, a war that this devil started. This Job 18 and 11 said, terror shall make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet. Yeah, he shall be driven to his feet. You know, showing you that what it's a sense of urgency with this devil. Okay, and that's why you see things coming out, as tacky as they are, because this nigga is rushing. Okay, and he's dealing with terrorists on every side. Okay, because he got to try to maintain the war. He got to try to deal with the populations of the earth. He got to try to suppress the prophets. He try to explain the chariots away. So he just got terrorists on every side, man. Plus they're divided amongst the elite. Okay, they're divided. Okay, they always fight, over the empire. Okay, so you got to deal with that. So what we're seeing is Esau. Okay, this nigga has been driven to his feet. The Most High got this nigga on his feet. He's not in a position of comfort. Okay, there was a time when he was comfortably just generations ahead of everybody, of everything, man. He was just generations ahead. But now prophecy done walk this nigga down. He got to get up. He got to stand his ass up. He got to become active, man. He really got to start doing things to try to pull this off, man. And that's why we know, okay, that it's a lot can happen this year, man. The way things are trending, it's a lot can happen this year, man. Okay. Verse 12, it says, his strength shall be hunger bitten, yeah. It's just famished, which means it's waning. This nigga's strength is waning. Okay. He doesn't have the effect that he once had. The secrecy that he was able to operate in the shadows. He doesn't have that anymore. Okay, his ability to pull off, these false flags and this and that. See, he doesn't have that anymore. His strength is becoming hunger bitten, man, to dominate these nations militarily. Well, he doesn't have that like he used to, man. Okay, and destruction shall be ready at his side, man, which is already prepared. Esau's destruction, the destruction of this kingdom, it's already prepared, man. And this nigga is just walking right into it. Okay, we're watching this devil, all right, walk right into that destruction, man. Okay, so let's go here real quick, and then we'll tap into this technocracy. Let's go here in Book of Psalms. All right, yep, Psalm 64. All right, so let's go here. We get to the point. Well, I'm gonna jump. This Psalm 64 and 1 says, "Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer preserve my life from fear of the enemy." Okay, preserve my life from fear of the enemy, man, which is Esau Edom. And there's a remnant whom the Lord is going to preserve from all the wickedness that this devil, okay, has planned, man. All right, because this man plans on, all right, a hell of a lot of wickedness, man, to try to establish this new world order. All right, he has a depopulation agenda. Okay, you know, this devil, he's going to engineer, a lot of these famines. Okay, he's going to engineer civil unrest. You see, so he has a bunch of wicked agenda, okay, that he's attempting to roll out, that he's going to roll out, you know, because he's gonna be able to roll out the chaos, because it's the Lord want this chaos, because the Lord want to judge the masses of the people. Okay, so he's utilizing Esau, okay, on the left hand side as a tool for mass judgment, man. Before this devil is judged. Okay, beginning with your elites, man, before he shuts off, okay, the elites from trying to accomplish their enterprise, man. He's going to use these devils on the left hand side to bring about a lot of wickedness in the earth, man, a lot of death, a lot of torment and suffering and affliction, man. Okay, even now with these energy crises, these other nations, they don't have the reserves that certain nations don't have the reserves like that, man. They're gonna be in the actual crisis. America is gonna be more engineered and fabricated, okay, because America is really okay with energy, man. You know, but the elites need chaos everywhere, okay. But you're gonna see these other nations going to chaos first, man. The way the things keep going like they're going, okay, because they don't have, all right, the reserves, and they don't produce nothing to sustain themselves, because Esau has created such a unnatural system, all right, this commercial industrial system which relies on all this shipping, all right, this just in time shipping. Okay, this nigga has a global, all right, this nigga has, and it shows you dumb stupid nations, you dependent and trusting in this man, okay, to have what you call just in time shipping, okay, which means that your ships, all right, your shipments are late. That has an effect on the economy, okay. That's not wise, man. Okay, well, that's, we'll get into it later on, man. But just going into that, man. Okay, but verse 2 says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity." Now, let's go into this word counsel, man. All right, which we know these elite families, man, these oligarchs, man. Beginning with these banking families. Okay, but you go into the word counsel in the Hebrew, which is sahad. All right, and you go into it. It says a council, an assembly. It says a council of familiar conversation. It says a divine. It says a circle of familiar friends. Okay, these oligarchs, these elite banking families, man. All right, these elite families all together. Okay, beginning with these Edomites, Amalek. Okay, which Amalek, the scripture say, well, they're the first of the nations, man. They're the forefront of the nations of the earth, man. Okay, So you have these familiar, all right, families, these different oligarchs that be in these councils, okay, about the agenda for the earth, man. And we're gonna get into them, okay, a little bit. So let's yeah, we'll come back to that. So let's go here. Let's get this first, all right. Which we went into technocracy quite a lot, over this last year. We've been tapping into that, but just to bring it back to the forefront, because this is what these devils are trying to attempt in the midst of this war, man, which they're gonna fail. All right, they're gonna fail miserably, man. It's not even gonna be close. Okay, so let's play this. We'll jump around a little bit and we'll segue into something else. Well, let's play this real quick. And this is the guy Patrick Wood. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the link before I forget. It's a pretty good interview. Okay, we're just gonna use a little snippets of it. It's about an hour and 20 minutes long, but we're just gonna use a few minutes of it. All right, but yeah, this guy Patrick Wood, he's been following technocracy for a long time, so he's like a major expert in this technocracy, how it works, how it functions, what it looks like, in real time. So you can look up Patrick Wood on the YouTube, kind of go into some of his interviews and be informed. But let's get this real quick. Uh,
Let's define this term technocracy, because I believe that there's a lot of people who are feeling it, but don't know what it is.
Exactly. Well, we have to rewind almost 100 years to get the definition.
Yeah.
It's been around for a very, very long time. It hasn't been noticed by many, at least until about 20 years ago. Now it's all over the place. But technocracy was started at Columbia University in New York City in 1932. And the engineers and scientists at that point at Columbia, they thought they could do better than the economic system that we had before. So they'd say, well, we could just roll up our sleeves and we'll knock it out in a weekend or something. I don't know, whatever. But they came up with this idea based on a resource-based economic system. It was not a political system. It was basically economics. And the horrible time, 1932, Great Depression, people out of work, soup lines, that sort of stuff. Very hard for people. And interestingly, all the people hated the politicians, by the way. They thought the politicians had brought the house down on them, Here's the definition that comes directly from their magazine, the Tech.
And the Great Depression was a manufactured depression by the elites. Okay, so these devils, these elites, and this was about 94 years ago. Okay, it shows you how long this ideology of a technocracy, okay, has been trying to infiltrate government. Okay, they've been attempting this for a long time, and now they're in a position where the Most High has them tricked to where they think they can pull it off now. In their mind, they got everything in place to pull this off, man. Okay, but it's all a trap. All right, let's play this some more.
The Technocrat magazine. They said technocracy is the science of social engineering, the scientific operation of the entire social mechanism to produce and distribute goods and services to the entire population. For the first time in human history, it'll be done as a scientific, technical, engineering problem. And then it goes on.
It said to produce resources and distribute them to, all right, civilization. And that's like the city life. When that city life where as a person, as a family, you don't produce anything. Everything is distributed to you. Okay, they use your labor, all right, and they give you these FRN notes, these debt notes called money. Okay, and that's their way of distributing resources to you, man. So they've been conditioning the masses for technocracy for a long time. All right. And what we're going to see this devil attempt to do this on a more extreme level of control. Okay. But that's the ideology of technology. And that's why, big part of this devil's agenda is these smart cities, to where you, all right, don't produce anything yourself. That's why there's a war on farming. You know, they don't want anyone to be self-sufficient. Okay. All right. They want complete dependency on, okay, this technocracy, man. But they've been conditioning people by having people to be conditioned to be dependent on the government. That's why the smallest things people go crazy. Okay. You have people, I remember what is during the lockdowns, all right, during the C-19, you had women, going crazy over shortage of baby formula. Okay. Now look, now, you see how unnatural this man has the earth. Okay. You had women, okay, going crazy about a shortage of baby formula when you already, as a woman, you produce, all right, breast milk. Okay. Well, Esau has sold everyone on such an unnatural, all right, lifestyle. Okay. Because that makes you dependent on him. Okay. That's not supposed to be a crisis baby formula. No, you have the milk already. Okay. Even talking about a trucking crisis, there's really not supposed to be a crisis of food just because trucks can't travel. If everyone just had, enough, okay, enough, big enough garden, to feed their house. Okay. Wouldn't be no such thing as a trucking crisis, man. But this devil create these cities, you know, with all this convenience to where they distribute goods to you. So you don't have to deal with the actual labor of producing resources yourself. Okay. So it's like, you winning, the resources are produced for you, but that gives him the control. Okay. And that's a part of the ideology of technology is that, look, we should have all the resources, okay, which will give us all the control. We should distribute the resources. That's why they create, the theories, the Methuselah theory, you know, to where, the earth is overpopulated, not enough resources. So he says, well, look, through science and technology, we need to be the ones to distribute, okay, to make sure everything runs efficiently, man. And that's a goddamn lie, man. You know, let's play this some more.
However, they said that there will be no place for politics, politicians, finance, or financiers. Go figure. They didn't. They want it. If they could have done it at that point, they would have got rid of the political system altogether in America. In fact, one technocrat wrote a book appealing to FDR to declare himself dictator and simply dismiss Congress.
Wow.
Was that radical or whatever? Well, it's so crazy. So fortunately, FDR didn't do that. He could have, I suppose, but he didn't.
Yes.
So he said they wanted FDR, all right, with Franklin Roosevelt, okay, Theodore Roosevelt. So they wanted him, to pretty much diminish Congress and announce himself dictator. And this was in the 30s. Okay, so they were trying to make major moves then, but it wasn't their time. Because you still had the awakening of the prophets that had to happen. You go into the late 1960, 69, okay, 70 era when Elder Abba Bibbin started going into Yahweh Shai. So showing you how all this is the timing of the Lord, but they were trying this in the 30s. Okay, they wanted to because see, it shows you that they need the president to be a dictator to really implement technocracy, man. Now, what is Donald Trump doing? All right, let's segue here real quick, and I got another little snippet of this video. Well, let's segue here. Okay, let's go to this real quick. Okay, now remember they wanted FDR, all right, Franklin Roosevelt, okay, to diminish the Congress and just move as a dictator. Okay, but when you go here, I says, does some feel like Trump ignores Congress? Yes, a significant number of political analysts, lawmakers, legal experts, and citizens believe that Donald Trump often bypasses or ignores Congress, a trend that accelerated during his second term uh, according to reports from early 2026. Okay? So when this devil got in the second time, man, he hit the ground running, all right, with the purpose of technocracy, man. Okay? Trump hit the ground running with the sole purpose of technocracy, man. All right, the elites put a battery in this nigga back, and he been all right working that plan, man, of technocracy, man. Every move that Trump is making is a move towards technocracy, man. Okay, he don't give a damn about the common, all right, American people, man. Nigga lied. Okay, it's like you Americans can't get it. That nigga lied. Okay, it was never about you, man. Okay, we're gonna go into that too. This no kings protest. Well, they got Trump moving like a king because they need him to okay expedite okay this new world order agenda, man. Okay, and they know it's gonna be a task here in America, man. Okay, and they said reliance on executive action. Said Trump frequently uses executive actions, orders, and directives to advance his policy priorities, bypassing the legislative process in Congress, particularly on issues such as budget, foreign policy, okay, which is like war, okay, foreign policy and immigration, man. Okay, so this man started World War III and just jumped over the Congress. And this man jumped over Congress and started World War III, in which the Congress, they all of them paid, you know, they're paid off, man. Okay, the Congress ain't no Congress. Like really look at how Trump been moving. Ain't no Congress, man. All right, Trump is off the leash of the American government structure. Okay, and he's doing the direct work of the elites, man. Okay, the government doesn't have any restraints on Trump. That's why he can do anything and everything he wants. Okay, it says It said the Trump administration has historically resisted congressional oversight, including refusing to comply with subpoenas, restricting testimony from officials, and withholding information, all right, from committees. Yeah, doing what he want. Ain't got to tell you niggas, explain to you niggas nothing. He doing what he want. Okay. It says critics argue that Trump has attempted to seize control over independent agencies. He has full control over ICE. Okay, full control, challenging traditional institutional, okay, boundaries, man. All right, and it said diminished congressional role. Observers point to an erosion of legislative power, where Congress has at times acted as a quiescent body rather than a co-equal branch of government that checks executive power, man. Yeah, and Trump has been unchecked. He been moving like a king because in technocracy they need the president to move like a dictator, man, so they can get things through. All right, so they can break this place down, so they can break down this old government, man. See, the elites, they're done with Congress and House of Representatives. They're done with it. Okay, that's why they ain't been operating off that, man. Okay, Trump been doing this thing, all right, because the elites need him, all right, unrestrained by government to bring about technocracy, man. Okay, that's what the play is, man. You see? So let's go from there. Let's go back to the video, play a few more seconds, then we'll go into some more things, man. All right. So let's go here. Um, I believe it's about let's play this.
Did you know with Capital One, you can see if you're pre-approved for card offers with no impact to your credit score? Don't believe me? Try it for yourself. Today, I'm partnering with
Focused on that instead of this whole other thing, like you said, a kind of a new system. But we're not talking left and right here. We're talking something deeper that is actually benefiting from probably the struggle of left and right in this country in particular, right?
Mm-hmm. You're right. This has never been about a political struggle at all. Technocracy transcends politics. Remember, that was part of their definition There will be no place for politics, politicians, finance, or financiers. So they wanted, if they could get rid of all the politicians today, they would. Here's their thinking. I'm say it from their perspective here. We have the science, we have the knowledge to make this all work because we work it out on their computers and the psi rules or whatever, and we know what's best for you because hey, science is what it is. Science is science. You can't argue with it. In fact, there's nothing to argue about, and we're the PhDs after all that understand how to do it. You don't. Therefore, you need to obey us, and there's no discussion needed. We don't have to have a political discourse over something that we decide that has to be done because of science. Well, this is exactly what we saw during COVID, for instance, when Anthony Fauci stood up and said, basically, you can't attack me. You can attack the science behind me, but you can't attack me. I'm just a messenger, right? And basically says you can't attack science in the first place. It was like a god to him. So
he said science was like a god. Okay, and how many people trusted the science and when they got their juice? Okay, and this devil's science is anti-Messiah. Okay, when he talks about science, he's talking about Satanism, man. Okay, talking about trust to science, that was a major thing, but that's all technocracy talk. Okay, the science, and he said science triumphs the Bible in his mind, that he believes that science triumphs over the Bible, his science, because his science is false, it's pseudoscience, man. Okay, because science just means the knowledge of, okay, and this devil's knowledge, okay, is wickedness, man. What's that in my brother get that in Sirach? I think it's 19 and 22. Okay, Baba Kashah. Okay, and that's a very proud stance to take, as if Esau has conjured up some wisdom that's above the wisdom of the Most High, and it shows you what the brother has. Proverbs 16 and 18. It says, this the brother, Warriors of Yahushua 144. It says, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Okay, so pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall, man. And this devil, he's in the peak of his pride. Okay, the fact that he thinks that he's going to pull this off. Okay, this shows that he's peaking out. Okay, in his pride, man. Okay, and the devil, has given everyone this convenience, man. All right, but he also you trade convenience for control. Okay, he gives you convenience and you give him control. Okay, that's the trade-off. Matter of fact, I think the brother posted something else. Yep, we got this, and then we'll get that. This is Sirach 14 and 7. It says, and if he do it good, because you look at the city, it's so convenient. You got this, you got that, you got everything at your fingertips. You can walk here and walk there. You can kick it, you can parlay, you can eat this, you can eat this you eat you a high class brunch in the morning, in the late morning. Okay. But they bottomless mimosas. You see, you can go watch the game at the sports bar, 100 wings. Okay. Then go kick it at the VIP at the club at night, so it's like, oh man. You see? So these cities, man, they produce so much convenience, just convenience. Okay, this system, it just produces so much convenience, man. Okay, you be like, damn, this is good, man. The government, my government cares about me. Nah, man. Okay, if he do it good, he do it unwillingly, and at the last, he would declare his wickedness, man. And now, all right, he's finna show, all right, his wicked agenda that he had from the beginning, man. Okay, which is condition the masses with this convenience that gives him all the control. Okay, and people are so addicted to the convenience that they don't mind giving him more control. Okay, people are going to buckle when he takes away these conveniences, man. People are going to buckle. They're going to uproar. They're going to riot. They're going to destroy each other. But then after a while, they're going to buckle and they're going to want a solution, man. Okay, he's going to present that see him. Okay, so let's go. See, the brother got that. Um, yeah, this the brother. All right, the brother Yaqua, the Hopeful Lake 3 says, Sirach 19 and 22, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. Yeah, this is not wisdom. This is not true wisdom. Okay, what he calls science is not true science, man. This is not true knowledge, man. Okay, that man has, Esau has the earth functioning on a very, all right, unnatural way. It's very unnatural how this man runs the earth. Okay, it's extremely unnatural how this man runs the earth, man, but he calls it wisdom and science and progress, man. Okay, it said neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence, man. And the counsel, we just went into that. What? Their secret counsel, their familiar company. All right, these elites, man. Okay, this is a familiar company of sinners, man, and they're not prudent. Okay, this is foolish what these devils are trying to attempt to do, man. Okay, so let's go from there. Okay, let's segue because what you have now, all right, these devils are shutting things down. You know, people are starting to, you know, there's an uproar. Okay, let's go here. All right, you got the Philippines. All right, this is going on in the Philippines, and you see what Trump and Netanyahu with horns on them, and they're blaming this on Trump and Netanyahu, man. Okay, where they're just the puppets of the elites. They're just, all right, puppets, you know, that we see, because the people we see really don't run nothing, man. All right, Trump and Netanyahu, man, they're just doing the bidding. They're tasked with executing the plan. Okay, you see, but you see right here from the beginning, okay, there's a spirit that stopped right there, man. These damn devils, man. Okay, if a brother want to post that real quick, in uh, what is it, Isaiah 32 and 5 in the NLT, Isaiah 32:5 in the NLT. Okay, see the brother. Yep, let's get this while we getting that. It's the brother GMS Tyler the Doc. All right, Yara 144K, Proverbs 10 and 28. The hope of the righteous shall be gladness, man. And who is the righteous? The elect. Okay, they're the hopeful elect whom the Lord has predestined, you know, to be righteous in this time through Yahushua. Okay, but the expectation of the wicked shall perish, man. Yeah, this nigga's expectations finna perish. It's starting to perish now. It's falling apart on this nigga. This nigga gonna throw this new world order up as it's falling apart. As everything is falling apart, man. Okay, so the expectation of the wicked shall perish, man. Okay, and this is what we're witnessing, man. The Lord's beginning to intervene, and this man's expectation is going to perish, and ultimately, the nukes and Yahweh are just going to clear this nigga out, man. Clean this nigga out, man. Okay, so let's get this real quick. All right, this is brother Amar Kabal, Isaiah 32 and 5 in the NLT says, in that day, ungodly fools will not be heroes. Yeah. For the longest, you know, they was able, these Edomites were able to parade themselves around the earth as the heroes. You know, look how far we brought humanity. Look at the inventions and innovations of so-called superior white man. You know, the James Bond, all right, the Iron Man, you know, just so smart and wise. And you see, they just have these ideas that just for humanity. You see, nah, man, you the exact opposite, man. You destroy. Okay, even your convenience is destructive, man. Okay, nah, man, you the exact opposite. You destroy, man. Okay, it says, in that day, ungodly fools will not be heroes, scoundrels will not be respected. Yeah, and we see there's a major loss of respect for the devils in the earth, man. They're being taunted and mocked, man. Okay, Esau is being taunted and mocked in the earth, man. You see, that's on the rise, man. Okay, because that's the will of the Lord that's written. Okay, so this nigga is not looked at as no hero and not respected, man. So you have this in the Philippines. Okay, let's play this.
Number one terrorist of the protests here in downtown Manila is part of a series of protests that have been organized across the country over the past few weeks, but there is no shortage of zeal and anger here. Many sectors are represented here today, from the agricultural sector, public transport, and the urban poor. The price of fuel has more than doubled, and many here worry that they have yet to see the worst of this crisis. They're not just calling for more cash assistance, the way the government has already been doing since last week. They're also asking the government to address structural gaps, the cancellation of excise taxes, and the increase of the daily minimum wage across the country. But that's not all. What is very, very stark in the discussion here today with protesters, they want a review of the country's relationship with the United States. This may be thousands of kilometers away from the Middle East, but they fear that those who already have less in this country will be the most affected by.
And the poor gonna suffer first. All right, you have to understand these countries don't have these reserves like that, man. Like it's gonna be crisis mode on another level. If this goes on for another month, 2 months, man, and you need nations like the Philippines, and they're not gonna have it. They're not just. Of course, the elites have their hand in this, but this ain't. Uh, these poor nations, the crisis is not gonna be fabricated. They're gonna be really in straits. They really not gonna have no oil. Okay, they don't have the reserves. See, Americans, we think we just used to America thriving no matter what's going on in the earth, man. You know, so we get blinded to the fact that these nations don't have the surplus and the abundance that America has, man. Okay, they're going to be in extreme crisis soon behind this, man. Okay, so they're beginning, to uproar. All right, and it's going to go from these peaceful protests, man, to they're going to be wild, and man, we can see, hey, as this thing goes on, man, as these things going to become violent, it's going to become, all right, they're going to start overthrowing their officials. We can start seeing that in other countries before we see it in America, man. We can get a glimpse of what's coming to America by what's going to happen to these other countries first, man. Okay.
This crisis. Protesters have been given 2 hours for what the police describes as peaceful assembly here. But there is palpable anger towards the Philippine government, the
That was heavy. U.S. imperialist #1 terrorist. You see that everyone's looking. Hey, America's getting the blame for everything, man, because they know America's the root cause. See, these other nations really know America, man. You Americans, you're the last one to find out about how wicked your government is, man, because they are starting now to hit you in the head with the bat. You've been hit with the hammer that they've been hitting everyone else with, man. Okay? U.S. imperialist #1 terrorist, man. All right? And then this sign here, what does it say? It said, time's up. Okay? Time's up, man. Hey, all this in the spirit, man. Okay? Time's up, man. Whose time? Esau's, man. Nigga, time is up. Okay? This is leading to his end. So let's go from there. You got this now. This happened over here in America. Okay? You had the No Kings protest. Okay, yeah, and these weak protests in America. And I'm gonna show you the difference between you Americans protesting how they get down across that water, man. Okay. So let's what is it? Yeah. So you got this happening in America. Okay, the No Kings. Okay.
Across the United States and parts of Europe, millions of people took to the streets this Saturday in a sweeping wave of protests known as the No Kings rallies. From major urban centers to small rural towns, demonstrators voiced their opposition to the war in Iran and expressed deep frustration with President Donald Trump's leadership. In cities like New York, massive crowds filled public spaces, holding signs, chanting slogans, and demanding accountability. But the movement was not limited to large metropolitan areas. In Driggs, Idaho, a town with fewer than 2,000 residents, people gathered as well, highlighting the wide geographic and political reach of the demonstrations. Organizers estimate that at least 8 million people participated in more than 3,300 events across all 50 states. While official counts have not yet been released by authorities, the scale described by organizers suggests one of the largest coordinated protest efforts in recent U.S. history. Compared to earlier demonstrations held in October, this weekend's rallies reportedly saw an increase of around 1 million participants and hundreds more events. The growth underscores a rising level of public engagement and concern over the current political climate. Minnesota emerged as a central focal point, with particularly large gatherings drawing national attention. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., hundreds of protesters marched through historic landmarks, passing the Lincoln Memorial and entering the National Mall. Many carried signs with sharp and symbolic messages, including phrases like "Put down the crown" and "Regime change begins at home."
If you're a man who makes at least $150K a year and you feel self-conscious about your gut sticking out, I'll get you shredded.
Demonstrators rang bells, beat drums, and chanted "No Kings," emphasizing their rejection of what they perceive as authoritarian tendencies. In New York and other cities, thousands joined together, some framing the movement as a broader fight against what they described as threats to democracy. Voices from the crowd reflected a mix of anger, urgency, and determination. Some called for impeachment, while others, particularly regarding foreign conflict and domestic governance. Despite differing messages, a common theme united the protesters: a demand for accountability and a rejection of concentrated power. The protests also extended beyond U.S. borders, with solidarity events taking place in parts of Europe.
Immigrant abductions are a grave concern to me, the inhumane treatment that's going on. But mostly I think it's just that Trump does not understand that he's supposed to be a president and not a king and not a dictator. And we watched our democracy crumble over the past year in ways that, I mean, obviously I've lived a while, and I did not believe that I'd ever witness anything like this in this country. This was something that happened elsewhere.
And see that, and they didn't care when things happen elsewhere. And see, everything that's been happening elsewhere has been the American government. This is what your government has been causing these uproars that you watch from your comfortable houses, man. And you look at the world in chaos, okay, and America just been chilling. Well, your government, all right, the elites use your government and the military to disrupt that, man. Okay, they weaponize the money system, okay, to impoverish the earth, okay, and enrich themselves, okay. So the U.S. government is responsible for a lot of wickedness, man. And you people, all right, you really don't have a problem with it, okay, until it starts to affect you. Okay, you should have been calling out the unrighteousness of your government. Okay, you people should have been stopped participating in the voting and see, but you really don't take no action because you still think that you can fix a corrupt government within the government. Okay, and you people are wicked. You America is meant for you Americans to suffer, man. All right, a brother can post that. What's that in Isaiah? A cruel Lord. Okay, Isaiah 19:4. All right, go into healing Babylon as well. All right, because you Americans, you want to heal America, man. Well, America was founded on wickedness, man. Okay, the America that you love was founded on wickedness, man. It was just a time when they were just uh terrorizing, okay, the rest of the earth. Okay, but now that the terror is being aimed towards you, now you have to do something about the government. Nah, man. You celebrated the 4th of July's, and that means you celebrating all the wickedness, man. And we was in these things too, but we denounce these things and we call it out daily, man. Okay, but you niggas gonna celebrate the 4th of July. That means that you're down with all the wickedness of America, man. Okay, you patriot Edomites, you're gonna go vote. Okay, you're gonna go try to get a Democrat in office for the midterm, or Democrats in power for the midterms. So you still trust in this system, man. Okay, but nah, man, you Americans, you haven't begun to suffer yet. This is just the beginning. Okay, let's get this real quick. This is the brother Zechariah, Yahweh the 144, Isaiah 19:4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. Okay. And the elite set up Donald Trump to be a cruel Lord over you people, man. Okay. And it's only gonna get worse. It's just the beginning. All right. And Trump don't give a damn about the average American, man. He don't give a damn about you MAGAs. All right. He don't care about you conservatives. He don't care about nothing. You liberals. Okay, you people that voted for him, he don't care about you, man. Okay, Trump wants to be in the inner circle of the elites. Okay, he's here to do the business of the elites, and it requires him to be a cruel lord to bring in technocracy, man. It says, "And the fierce king shall rule over them," said the Lord, the, the Lord of hosts, man. Okay, let's go here. So this the Lord's doing. All right, the Lord. All right, push the elites to put in a cruel lord over you Americans, man. Because you Americans, you finna suffer. You're gonna suffer like no other, man. Okay, over here in America, man. Jeremiah 51:9 said, "We will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reach unto the heaven and is lifted up into the skies," man. Nah, man, there's a judgment from the heavens that's coming to America, man. All right, and it's gonna be in the form of nuclear destruction. Okay, that's what the Lord has planned for America, man. Okay, so marching, thinking you're gonna change a policy or two, and things are gonna snap back into order. No, man, this place is gone. Okay, this place is just set for judgment. Okay, the Lord has, all right, the elites running to judgment, man. Okay, the decision that's being made is gonna get America nuked. Okay, woe to the old land when our king is a child and our princes eat it in the morning. Okay, so you have childish leadership, okay, pulling you into nuclear destruction, man. That's how it ends for you Americans, man. Okay, so let's play a little more and just listen to some of these interviews, man, from you Americans.
What we provide is mockery to the king, and we call this part of the mock and awe tour.
And look how childish you Americans are, man. Okay, Esau don't respect no protest. He not thinking about that, and they're just gonna make, all right, the devils come down hard on you people, man. Okay, childish, man. Costumes. Okay, you think the elites, all right, damn, they protest. No, they want you to protest. They really want you to get violent, man. All right, so they can counter your violence with more violence, man. Okay, so you American people, you dumb, stupid, dumb down American people don't know what's going on, man. Okay, and this is just the beginning.
And that's really about just taking authoritarianism and making fun of it, which they hate. And that's what we're doing.
Every single day, reading the paper and wondering. I mean, Iran is terrifying. Venezuela, walking in there and pulling a president out. What's going on with the undocumented people? I mean, it's just outrageous every single day. and it's coming so fast and furious, you can't keep up on it, and you just become overwhelmed. But we have to stand up and do something.
And look at them, man. Okay, you Americans are pathetic, man. Okay, you Americans are pathetic, man. All right, and it's just a day for you niggas to dress up. Okay, big ass kids, man. Okay, this is not gonna change a goddamn thing. So what you did Saturday, guess what? Sunday still gonna be the same. Nothing. This changes nothing, man. Okay, but it fulfills prophecy. Okay, and these protests are going to get violent, man, when they take away these scarcity, these convenience. Because these same people are going to leave here, okay, and they're going to go to Chipotle, all right, and they're going to go watch Netflix and carry their ass to sleep and get ready for work Monday, man. Okay, you Americans ain't, you don't have what it takes to make any change, man. Okay, it's not in you, man. You've been broken. Okay, you Americans, man. All right, and they're gonna take away convenience. Okay, you're gonna get violent, and they're gonna unleash these mercenaries and UN troops on your ass. Okay, and eventually you're gonna be on your knees begging for a sea help. Okay, you're gonna be in lines. Okay, getting ready to get chipped, man. Okay, and you Americans are a joke, man. Pathetic, man. Okay, and this is someone grandparents, man. This is what they did with their Saturday. Okay, nothing.
So you got to come out here and we got to yell and scream and make sure we can get things put back together again.
I don't like foreign wars. I don't like excessive government spending, which we're also managing to do somehow. I've got a lot of queer friends who now feel like they're going to be persecuted.
You see, they say I got a lot of queer friends. You see, this is what you Americans stand for. Okay, and this is why you're gonna get nuked. Okay, that's why you're gonna get the judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah. Brother can put those precepts up, man. All the Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, it was an example. Okay, this is what you Americans stand for. You worried about some goddamn queer rights? They got all the rights. Okay, goddamn, they got all the rights. Okay, you look at them niggas wrong. Hate speech, hate crime. Okay, niggas, niggas running track. Big nigga running track with a wig on. Okay, nigga was hooping, nigga was wrestling, cracking whole skulls. Goddamn, what more rights do they need? Okay, well, this just shows you Americans are so confused. Okay, and the only thing left for you Americans is judgment, man. Okay, suffering and judgment, man. Okay.
Or trans are being persecuted. So many things. It's like at every turn where maybe there's a chance to do something good, this administration finds a way to make things worse.
Really, we're standing up for justice for people who are afraid every day. They're afraid to come out because of what ICE is doing in certain states in in our country. Justice for people who are just afraid they're going to lose their job, or they have to decide: am I going to eat, or are my children going to eat? And I mean, he lied to the people who actually voted for him. We did not vote for him, but he lied to those people, and he said he'd bring down prices. And then all we've done is just shell out more money, and it becomes difficult for people to make their living.
It's just pure frustration and need to express the injustices, and we need to gather together to create change and harness our energy. And also, it's so uplifting to be around people who are like-minded, because sometimes we think we're crazy at times and we're all alone.
Exactly.
And it's just so amazing to be a part of this energy.
I protest all of Trump's illegal, immoral, reckless, and feckless, endless wars. It is clear he doesn't really have a plan. It is clear that the abuse of power is the point. It is clear that he is a strong man who is abusing the authority vested in him by the American people as our elected president. So, yeah, I think it's very important, in particular as an American, to show that we oppose what he is doing with these wars. And unfortunately, what's happening today is for
Look at this nigga, man. Okay? Look at this nigga, man. You see? Big children, man. Okay? Grandchildren think they're gonna go to grandma's house on Saturday, it's some pancakes, and this nigga out here, man, dressed up as the Statue of Liberty, man. Okay? Nobody take you American serious, man. Okay? This ain't gonna change the goddamn thing, man. All right, now this over here in France. Matter of fact, this over here in France. You Edomites everywhere, man. Big children, man. And you're so used to your privileges, okay? The Edomite privileges, and they're being stripped away. All right, the elites are pushing you and herding you in with the rest of the going, what they consider going, man. Okay, she just someone sit there and painted all this on you, man. Someone in the midst of painting all this on this goddamn woman, nobody said, "Wait, we doing too goddamn much," Crazy as hell, man. All right, and you people need to be judged, man. It needs to be a righteous world order, man. Okay, in the kingdom, adults won't act like this, man. Okay, let's hear this nigga out, man.
We're watching so many of our constitutional rights being taken away and stolen us by the regime that's part of the White House. So today we want people to understand that we care, as Democrats abroad, as Republicans abroad, independents abroad, everyone. We care about what is happening in the United States, and we want to speak up and let people know we will not back down, and we will not ever forget this.
We are against everything that Trump is doing. He made 3 campaign promises: no more wars, lower prices, and release the Epstein files. He has done the complete opposite of all 3 of those things. We have not forgotten about ICE and how they gunned down 2 American citizens in the streets of Minneapolis. There are so many things to protest. I could go on for hours. But basically, we're here to show solidarity with the 3,000 cities in the U.S. where they're demonstrating today, to show that.
And let me show you this. All right, enough of them niggas. Okay, but let's go here. I'll leave the link. So this from the Times of India, which they do a lot of updates throughout the day. So like, if you really into the hour by hour updates of certain things is going on, all right, they be on it. So that's the Times of India. I watch them, daily. But let's go from there. Let's show you how they do cross. All right, show you how Ishmael and and Elon, Ishmael wild ass, man. All right. Dealing with Ishmael. I think that's 17. How it says he shall be a wild man. Okay. Well, let's go over here in Bahrain and show you how everything that these devils are trying to do is working against them. Because see, this is what they wanted to happen in Iran. What we see happening in Bahrain. All right, or Bahrain, whatever you say it. All right. Well, let's show you how they protest when they get frustrated with their leadership. So let's go here.
What is unfolding in the Persian Gulf is nothing short of a historic earthquake. In the last few hours, the unthinkable has happened. King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the man who has ruled Bahrain with an iron fist for nearly 3 decades, has reportedly fled the country. It wasn't a planned state visit, and it wasn't a diplomatic tour. It was an evacuation.
They are determined to make this a permanent place of protest.
1 person has been killed and 8 others have been wounded.
Under the cover of night, as protests turned into an outright revolution, and as Iranian missiles turned the Sheikh Issa air base into a smoldering ruin, the King of Bahrain ran. He didn't walk, he ran. Witnesses and local sources are confirming that the royal family has been scrambled out of the Rifa Palace, leaving behind a nation that is finally, after decades of sectarian apartheid, rising up to take back what is theirs. This is happening just days after Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi was in the country, trying to project an image of stability and alliance.
Work today is broken. Every day, people juggle so many different tools just to.
But stability is a lie when you rule a majority Shia population with American bombs and Saudi boots. And that illusion has just shattered. To understand the rage flooding the streets of Manama and Muharraq right now, we have to look at the gasoline that was poured on the fire. The brutal torture and death of a 32-year-old man named Mohammed al-Musawi. This isn't just another name on a long list of victims of the Al Khalifa dictatorship. This is the spark that detonated the powder keg. Mohammed al-Musawi was a prisoner of conscience, a man who had already spent 12 years of his life in the regime's dungeons for daring to demand freedom. He was released in a wave of pardons in 2024, and he spent his brief taste of freedom breathing the air of his homeland. But on March 19th, he was picked up at a security checkpoint in Muharraq. He was taken into custody, and for days his family heard nothing. When his body was finally returned to them yesterday, what they received wasn't a man, it was a mutilated corpse. Videos circulating online, and I warn you, they are graphic, show the face, legs, arms, and feet of Mohammed al-Musawi, ravaged by the tools of torture used by the Bahraini Ministry of Interior. This was a man beaten, burned, and broken behind bars. And
now America, for the longest, they present, Muammar Gaddafi, all right, Saddam Hussein, okay, Hugo Chavez, as these tyrannical dictators. But when you go to these Gulf Arab nations, Lord will, if I can find a good documentary about this, I can tap in one of these days, just dealing with these Gulf Arab nations, what they call GCC nations. The British and the American government set up, man, and they've been protected by America, okay, to do this wickedness because America uses them for this oil, man. America have them propped up, okay, with this infrastructure, all right, so they can come and get that oil. In Dubai, it's a bunch of wickedness going on in Dubai. See, these missiles ain't just hitting, all right, random places, man. All right, because Dubai, a lot of wickedness, man. Because as years before, was a big thing about the porta potties, how those they were flying Eve out to Dubai, these American women to Dubai, and all the filthiness. Where you think they got that from, man? Esau, Edom, man. Okay, but this nigga's a damn hypocrite, man. But when a leader like Hugo Chavez, Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi, Fidel Castro, all these different leaders that was presented to us as these just wild, tyrannical, must be stopped leaders, man. These men were for their people, man. Okay, you go Fidel Castro, man. Fidel Castro had free healthcare in Cuba, okay, in the 70s and 60s, man. Okay. Hey, people's life expectancy in Cuba was longer than American life expectancy, man. When you go into the 60s and 70s, man. Okay, I'm not saying none of these guys were perfect, these angels, man, but they wasn't what the West was making them to be. Omar Gaddafi, everybody know about how Libya was a great place to be as a citizen, man, under Omar Gaddafi, man. Okay, you get married, you get $50,000, you get housing was mandatory, free schooling, you got a dividend check from the oil profits of Libya, man. Okay, but these wicked niggas over here in the Gulf Coast, man, these some wicked niggas over there, man. These GCC nations, man. Okay, but what you have now, you have Qatar that's done flipped over to Iran. You got Oman, they done flipped, they with Iran. And now what you got in Bahrain, all right, you have, all right, the locals, they done ran off the king. Okay, they said that nigga ran, man. All right, that nigga picking them sandals up and putting them down. Okay, they protest different. You know what I'm saying? They coming to get you over there. And see, they not dressing up in them stupid ass costumes. Okay, no, they coming to get you. All right, come here. Yeah, that nigga gotta come out of there, man. Okay, and see, this is what they wanted to happen in Iran, but see how everything is working against these devils, man. They wanted this to happen in Iran. They wanted the Iranian people to come at the Iranian regime, the Ayatollah, like this, like we seen in Bahrain. And this not gonna be the last, man. Hey, don't be surprised if you see Jordan, Kuwait, and all these different dictators set up by the West, man. Hey, cause this is gonna start something, man. You know, hey, it's a lot. It's a lot of action happening right now, man. The earth, hey, the earth is the earth is lit. Prophecy is lit in the earth, man. But let's play a little bit more of this, man.
For what crime? According to the Bahraini dictatorship, he was guilty of espionage and communication with Iran's military. They accused him of being a sleeper agent, of being a traitor to a regime that views the very existence of its Shia majority as an act of treason. They fabricated cells and organizations to justify the murder. But the streets know the truth. Mohammed al-Musawi is the first martyr of this new intifada. His funeral in Muharraq today wasn't a somber procession. It was a war cry. Thousands of mourners turned into protesters, and protesters turned into revolutionaries, flooding past the security forces who are now reportedly retreating to protect what's left of the royal palaces. If you are watching this, you know that the truth is being buried under the rubble of Western propaganda. We are one of the only channels bringing you the raw reality of what is happening in the Persian Gulf. The empire doesn't want you to see these images. They don't want you to know that the people of Bahrain are finally breaking their chains. We need your help to keep this message alive. Hit that like button.
Yeah, so you can watch the rest of it. It kind of go into some history as well. Pretty good video, as I just shared it on the chat. But let's go here. Let's get some precepts, and then I got some things happening. Some war updates, man. Okay, hey, we here, man. Okay, so let's go here real quick. This is Second Esdras. All right, chapter 9, verse 1. It says, he answered, consider all these things very carefully. When you see that some of the signs I have told you have appeared, okay, and we're seeing these things appearing. Now everything is speaking. Prophecy is speaking. Everything that the Lord promised was going to happen, these things are speaking now. They're at the forefront. Okay. It says, you will know that the time has come when the Most High will bring judgment on the world he has created. Okay. So the Most High is getting ready to bring judgment on the world, okay, that he's created, man. You see, it's going to be a global judgment, man. It's going to be suffering throughout the earth, but it's going to be the worst here. It's going to be war throughout the earth, but it's going to be the worst here. Okay, this is where all the earth's nuclear weapons, okay, they're appointed for America, man. Every nuke outside of America is appointed for America, man. Thus said the Lord. Spare no arrows, man. All right. Those three words, spare no arrows, lets us know that every nuke outside of America is for America, man. Okay. hey, the Most High finna unload the clip. The Most High finna unload the clip on the whore, man. Okay. And you see why? Because you look at the Americans, man. You people need to go back to the spiritual realm, man. Okay. You need a major, all right, do-over, man. And you need to come back as slaves. You Edomites and you other nations, man. Okay, over here in America said, therefore, all right, there will be earthquakes, national rebellions. See that? National rebellions, international intrigues, unstable leaders, and confused rulers. When you see these things happening, you will know that they are what the Most High has spoken about since the beginning of creation, man. We're here. This is what we're seeing, man. We're going to see more national rebellion, especially, as this energy crisis looms. You're going to have authentic energy crisis, and then you're going to have fabricated energy crisis. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a crisis, man. And it's the judgment of the Lord. Okay? So let's go here. All right, but we're seeing this, man. National rebellions, okay, unstable leaders, just all over the place, man. Okay, because Esau got a real fragile system, okay, that he got set up, man. So let's go here. All right. So you have rumors, dealing with North Korea. Okay. Because these nations are seeing America. All right. Matter of fact, before I get that, um, let's play a little bit of this. All right, because if these nations are seeing, okay, America catch hell in this war. All right, that's going to embolden these nations, man, to look like. Cause see, this old world order was set up on America being the security guard for the economy. Use the American dollar. That was part of the American dollar package. Is you use the dollar, okay, we'll ensure your security with American military. Okay. So America had this big military budget, but it was like, look, we got to police the world. We got to be security for the world. Okay. So you use the dollar. Okay. Part of playing ball with America was you got American security through military. But these nations see that, wait a minute, America, if they catching hell in this war, how the hell they going to protect all of us at the same time? These nations are talking, man. There's things happening, man. There's things happening that the elites ain't planning for. Okay, that's going to fulfill prophecy, man. Okay, the elites got, their agenda in work in the progress. Okay, with this tag ass energy crisis lockdown. Okay, so they got they play in the mix. But there's things happening. There's moves being made, man. All right, and these nations getting ready to fulfill prophecy, man. Okay, so let's play this.
After World War II was completely demilitarized. It had no army to speak of, no offensive military capability because it did not need one. America guaranteed its safety. Germany, same thing. After World War II, no significant military because America was there. America would protect them. South Korea, sitting 30 minutes from North Korean artillery, able to function as a normal nation because American forces were stationed there as a permanent deterrent. And even between nations that have tremendous historical hostility toward each other, America stepped in as the referee. Just recently, Trump brokered a ceasefire between India and Pakistan, two nuclear-armed nations with deep historical grievances, because America still had enough authority and credibility to say, stop. And both sides listened. But now, something fundamental is changing. America has been in this war for 20 days. Over 7,000 strikes on Iran, 13 American soldiers dead, $12 billion spent. And what is the result? The Strait of Hormuz is still closed. Iran is still fighting. There is no clear end game, no victory in sight, and the world is watching. Every nation on earth is watching America struggle against Iran, a nation with no aircraft carriers, no stealth fighters, no global military network, and drawing conclusions. The conclusion they are drawing is this: if America, the most powerful military in human history, is struggling this badly against Iran, then maybe America cannot actually protect us anymore. Maybe the guarantee is no longer reliable. Maybe we need to protect ourselves. And once nations start thinking that way, the world changes permanently. Japan is already talking about the most significant military expansion in its post-World War II history. Defense budget increases, new missile capabilities, new strategic partnerships. South Korea is accelerating its own military development. Poland has built one of the largest armies in Europe. Finland and Sweden joined NATO. Germany is discussing mandatory military service again for the first time in decades. This is remilitarization. And
it's time for war. Okay? This is having a ripple effect that's fulfilling prophecy. It's time for war, man. These nations are getting... Okay? Because that American illusion of invincible, untouchable might, all right, has been shattered, man. So now these nations, they're scrambling and like, look, man, we gotta have some, because America, just depending on America, the umbrella of America military, hey, look, that's been shattered, man. Okay, these THAAD systems, okay, these missile defense systems, that's a myth. Okay, and then they only can intercept old missiles. Okay, so when you get China and Russia and Turkey with these new age, with these newer missiles, man, it's defenseless. It's pointless, man. Okay, and these devils in this month, they've used 10 years worth of those missile defense projectiles, man, because they only make 96 a year, and they've already used 900, over 900 of them, man. Okay, so they've used 10 years of manufacturing in a month, man. Okay, because that's another thing about war. People just look at what America got on paper, but American manufacturing is trash. All that high dollar shit that they cost, but the manufacturing of it is slow as hell. It take forever to make them goddamn THAAD missiles, man. Okay, and you in the war right now. You see, Iran is making thousands of drones a month. Why they in the war? They got manufacturing. Russia got manufacturing. China got crazy manufacturing, man. That's a part of war too. Okay? And American manufacturing is extremely weak when it comes to making this weaponry, man. Okay, that's why they having to go borrow a THAAD system from South Korea. Like, nigga, what you know, they want to borrow the THAAD like a nigga borrowing, your ladder, your drill. Let me borrow your drill. Nigga come get the whole THAAD system. Like, I didn't borrow this, nigga. What? Because they manufacturing the trash, man. It's slow as hell, man. Okay, but they depend on quick wars. Okay, against weaker nations. America, their whole military doctrine is quick wars with weaker nations, man. Okay, but nah, man, what this devil has done and what's being shown is prepping these nations for war, man. Okay, so let's go from there. Let's go here. Got that. So you got Houthis, which they fired their first missiles at the small hats, so they're in the war now. Okay. What was it? I think this is a year. All right. So the small hats, they're getting attacked from the south. All right, the east and the north. Hezbollah in the north, Iran in the east, and the Houthis in the south. And the Houthis, they can shut down the Red Sea, which is going to cause another disruption in the supply line, which I say the elites got their hand in the mix because they want a global collapse. Okay, but this war is going to go beyond, the intention of the elites, man. Okay, and it's going to fulfill prophecy of the Lord. All right, so let's play this, man. So now you got Kim on, okay, the book of Joel, chapter 3, verses 9 through 12. Oh, your brother already, brother on it. Okay, yes, so it's on deck. Yep, brother already on it. Yep. The water, bro. So I'm gonna play this and then we'll tap into that.
As Russia quietly arms Iran and the war widens, are North Koreans now bracing for the unthinkable? Kim Jong-un sending their sons to a distant Middle Eastern battlefield? With rumors of Iran deployment seeping into border towns, is panic rising inside North Korean homes that this war could suddenly reach them too? As Kim doubles down on his nuclear shield, are ordinary North Koreans hearing that message as protection, or as cover for new enlistment and sacrifice abroad? And from Tehran's missile fields to Pyeongchang's cramped apartments, are Iran war fears now spilling far beyond the Middle East into the world's other flashpoints? As Russia backs Iran more openly, some in the region now fear North Korea could be the next partner to step into the war zone. Daily NK reporting, cited by Iran International, says rumors of North Korean troops joining the Iran war are spreading fast in border areas. Families with conscription-age sons are increasingly worried they could be sent overseas to fight, this time in Iran. Some residents are openly asking why Pyongyang would join yet another foreign war after already sending forces and shells to support Russia in Ukraine. Locals quoted by Iran International warn the Russia war is not even over, and now quietly wonder if their troops will be dispatched to Iran as well.
You, just you, building your app on base 44.
Reports say public anxiety is rising as food prices climb and economic strain deepens across North Korea. Residents complain that missile tests keep coming while rice and basic staples remain scarce and expensive. One resident told Daily NK that cutting back on launches and importing more food should now be the regime's real priority.
Nah, AT, you gotta wait on that rice. You want the intermittent fast. All right, they need them things over there. Okay, it's wartime. All right, you got to cut back on that rice. You see, and these nations getting ready for war, man. You see the spirit that's in the earth. You know, a brother can put that time for war. Ecclesiastes, let's get this real quick. Nigga complaining, said these niggas instead of shooting missiles, nigga, we need some rice, nigga. Y'all, nah, nigga. You gonna see why they've been spending for they've been investing in these missiles soon, man. Okay. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9 said, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. This is Brother GMS Tazadak Yara'ah 144K. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, these heathens, prepare war. This is wartime, man. Okay, get the troops ready. Hey, get the missile inventory. Hey, everybody getting engaged, man. Okay, it's a spirit of war, man. Okay, because this thing is getting ready to spiral out of control. Okay, and these devils can't contain this, man. All right, they started something that they cannot contain. Okay, so they're gonna have to hurry up, you know, put their little chip readers out and do what they gonna do, because hey, they gonna have to skip some steps in their agenda, man, to try to hurry up, get this thing, you know, where they can make things mandatory. Okay, it says, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Okay, so all these nations are being pulled into this war, man. You know, there is rumors now, you know, but then there's nations that's helping in the background. All right, some nations more than others, but eventually nations, they're gonna have to commit men and resources to this battle, man. He said, beat your plowshares into swords. Yeah, your plowshares, your farming tools, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong, man. Yeah, man. So hey, the price of rice going up, man. But hey, we got hey, we gotta have munitions. You see? Hey, you gotta substitute that rice with something else, man. Okay. And it says, you get you some noodles, you know. And it says, verse 11, it says, assemble yourselves and come all you heathen and gather yourselves together round about till it calls the mighty ones to come down. All right. It says, let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit and judge all the heathen round about. As Yahushua, he's going to enter the theater of war, what they call the theater of war in their region of the earth, man. So all these nations are being pulled into this region, okay, for the sake of war. Okay. So let's get this. All right, this is the brother, the hopeful elect. 3, it says Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Okay. So there's a purpose, there's a season. Right now we're in the season of war. All right, that's why you jump down to verse 8. Words of Yahushua 144. It says a time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace, man. There's no doubt we're in the time of war, man. Okay, everybody getting locked in. All these nations, and they getting locked in militarily, man. Okay. And so these things, every day is some type of development and escalation, man. Okay, with no end in sight.
Official slogans about strengthening defense capabilities no longer resonate with people just trying to get through the winter. For many ordinary North Koreans, Real good news now means cheaper rice and basic essentials, not new weapons on parade. North Korean state media is using the Iran war as fresh proof that only nuclear weapons can keep US firepower at bay. Kim has accused Washington of state terrorism and global aggression, citing the assault on Iran as another example. He has vowed to permanently and irreversibly consolidate North Korea's possession of nuclear weapons. Pyongyang warns it is prepared to respond whether opponents choose confrontation or uneasy coexistence, tying its posture directly to events in Iran. Meanwhile, Moscow is nearing completion of covert drone and aid shipments to Iran, according to the Financial Times. Western officials say secret talks on those drone shipments began just days after US-Israeli strikes hit Iran. Intelligence sources add that Russia has provided targeting data and satellite support for Iranian operations. These drone deliveries would mark Moscow's first clear lethal support to Tehran in the current conflict. The Kremlin dismisses such claims as fakes, insisting it only maintains normal dialogue with Iran. European officials now openly accuse Russia of helping Iran target and kill US troops in the region. Western capitals warn this points to a deepening Russia-Iran war axis, whatever Moscow's public denials. One senior...
Well, this is all prophecy, man. All right? Brother, get Isaiah 20, 21 and 2. Okay? 21 and 2. So you see Russia, all right, and China, hey, they're at the forefront in this thing, man. All right, Iran they jumped out there first. You know, they was activated first. They're wild boar, and they're buried right behind them, man. Okay, this prophecy, man. Okay, so we ain't gotta speculate whether or not Russia is helping or not. We know. Okay, and whatever deal Russia got with the New World Order, look, that shit finna be voided out. All these little deals and pacts and secret agreements, all that's finna be voided out, man. They finna go to war. Okay. All them little dumbass agendas and this and that and agreements with the elites and all this gonna be voided out, man. It's just gonna be the will of the Lord. Okay.
Western official told the Financial Times that Russia is deliberately bolstering both Iran's firepower and the stability of its ruling system.
We are raising this issue that we see that Russia is helping Iran with intelligence to target Americans, to kill Americans. And Russia is also supporting Iran now with the drones so that they can attack neighboring countries and also US military bases. So these wars are very much interlinked. So if America wants the war in the Middle East to stop, Iran to stop attacking them, they should also put the pressure on Russia so that they are not able to help them in this.
It is proven that cooperation is.
How they gonna put the pressure on Russia? They can't. Okay, they can't. And America started all this shit. And this you goddamn Edomites, man. You do all this, all right, terror to the earth, and then you get hit back. Now we're gonna have a press conference. No, nigga, we at war now. Okay, and you can't sick America on everybody like you see the EU just used to sitting back and sicking America on everybody. You can't do that because America getting their teeth kicked in right now. You can't. What America gonna do with Russia? Not a goddamn thing. Okay. Hell, you can't do nothing. You go over there. Don't you got a military? Okay. Send France over there. Yeah. So all these press conferences. See, the America needs to put pressure on. They can't. They got 24,000 sanctions on Russia. Ain't nothing else to sanction in Russia, man. Okay, and America can't do nothing with Russian military. Okay, nothing. All right. Trump don't want to see a picture of Putin, and Trump know that. Okay, it's the will of the Lord going forth, man. Okay, so let's go. Let's go here. Real quick. I think it was one more because there was some news. I found this interesting. I got one more video. I know. The video long as hell. Y'all good. Y'all just sitting in church forever. Y'all can sit through this, you know. You sit in church, goddamn. I got one more. Let me see what I'm gonna find. Oh, here we go. Let me get a couple of these. But yeah, let's go here real quick. All right, so let's play a little bit of this. I found it interesting. Something Larry Johnson said. Well, let's play this.
Neutral, they're edging more to join the war. You've got the Houthis now have joined. You've got the two important choke points of the Bab el-Mandeb and the Strait of Hormuz. Both of them choked off.
You're invited to join Phoenix Energy's next webinar, where you can drill deeper into our bond offerings. We currently offer 2 investment opportunities.
The global economy is taking a pretty bad hit, and Israel's getting pummeled. Lebanon's suffering a lot. So where is this going, Larry?
Yeah, well, I think we're going towards a global war. The United States does not have a viable exit ramp now, because Trump, to admit that he can't admit that we lost, so he's going to have to keep at it, trying to say, oh, any day now we're going to defeat them, and they're not going to defeat them. So now all of a sudden he's Lyndon Baines Johnson, caught in a Vietnam War in the Middle East of sorts. The advantage Iran has is, it's a system that, although it's controlled by mullahs as far as the Islamic Republic aspect of it, it's still a democracy. They had democratic elections to select President Pezeshkian, and there was genuine competition between stance of Pezeshkian, who was more predisposed, hey, let's work with the West. Now, what's happened as a result of these U.S.-Israeli attacks on Iran, it's hardened across the board. Now, going to the different Gulf states, Saudis, a monarchy, they don't have any political, they got subjects. They don't have citizens. The citizens that don't have rights protected by a constitution or anything. Same applies to Bahrain, to Kuwait, to Qatar, and to the United Arab Emirates. I mean, let's face it, the UAE is an artificial creation to start with. It doesn't even come out of some natural, some tribe that controlled the area and they've now ascended. So they are inherently weak politically. They're very fragile systems. They don't have a basis of popular support. And so what if the UAE and Saudi Arabia say, okay, we're entering the war now. With what? It's not like they got a map.
And something he said there's no offering. You see, no one, all the analysts and, people that get into these things, there's no offering, man. And there's a constant escalation. Because these small hats, even if America try to scale back, these small hats going to do something. They're going to keep doing things, man, to escalate this thing, man. Okay? And it's the Lord that's driving this, man. The Lord is the driving force behind this prophecy, man. Okay? So let's go here.
That's a Praetorian Guard of very effective fighters. So all they're going to do still existed as had an office, it had employees, and people went to work there until 1945. It became irrelevant. That's where the UN is now. The UN now has proven itself incapable of stopping any wars, and to be a system where the respect for international law, rules and laws. The United States has been very clear. Trump, and not just Trump, but Marco Rubio and Stephen Miller, his advisor, that the United States doesn't recognize international law anymore. Forget that. We are the law of. Let us do
Larry,
what we want.
I want to go back to a statement you've made that's very important. You said Russia could be doing more when it comes to this war. Strategically, it makes total sense the US miscalculated and is now stuck in a quagmire that could weaken the American military out. There's reports now of the US. Let me find that. You know the numbers really well of their production capacity. But there's one here that the US can make, 90 Tomahawks, I think, a month, something along those lines. And they've already spent, let me try to find it.
90,
The
I
amount of
think it's
missiles,
90 a year. Maybe 90 a year.
90 a year. Exactly. a year, sorry. They can produce 90 a year. And they've already spent hundreds in this war alone so far.
Right.
It's not ended. And so the US has fired over 850 Tomahawks at Iran in just 4 weeks. And as you said, this tweet doesn't include it, but they can produce 90 a year. So they've fired 10 years worth of Tomahawk missiles.
Right.
And that's just Tomahawk missiles. That's putting air defense munitions, which you've gone through the numbers in previous conversations we've had. So I'd say it as it is. Russia would be foolish if they don't support Iran further. There's reports of them supplying drones to Iran right now. If they don't support Iran further, not militarily, because their negotiating position now when it comes to war in Ukraine has shifted drastically. Now, Ukraine's also done some pretty smart moves. They've gotten closer to the Gulf countries, the cash-rich Gulf countries, in helping Gulf countries build air defense systems to counter those drones by Iran. But what a freaking world we live in. You've just dragged, instead of ending the war in Russia and Ukraine, you've just dragged those two countries and involved them in a war in the Middle East. Zelensky meeting MBS, meeting MBZ, meeting Qatar as well today, and Russia supplying drones to Iran. How the hell did we get here, man? How the hell did we get here? So how else could Russia be involved?
Well, and let me also talk about China's role too as well. And let's come back to the Tomahawk missile. While we don't have the full list of what rare earth minerals are used in producing a Tomahawk missile, what is publicly known is that the Tomahawk missiles use rare earth magnets. And those magnets are made using neodymium, praseodymium, 4 different types of rare earth minerals that China has and is no longer giving to the United States. So even if the United States ramped up to say, okay, we're gonna do 90 Tomahawks a day, they can't because they won't have the magnets. So right there, the United States has created a problem where it's using up these stocks, and Russia and China know that. I mean, their intelligence analysts aren't stupid. And then they can look at the fact that the United States is no longer going to, right now, it is basically unable to produce at any significant rate for Tomahawk missiles, for JASSMs, for radars, for F-35s. The radar systems are supposed to go in the nose cones. They can't do those either because, they're not getting the rare earth minerals out of China. So, I think from Russia's standpoint, they recognize this war now. They can extend and, if you will, demilitarize the United States.
They're breaking the whore down. Okay, China has stopped, shipping rare earth, minerals. Okay, to America, man. You see, because now they finna really get at it. They finna get busy. See, when they stop sending these things, okay, that's a sign that they finna get busy for real. Okay, and this works perfect for Russia and China because America is being extremely weakened. Okay, before Russia and China even get into the war, America is being extremely weakened, man. Their stockpiles are running low. They can't defend them. Their defense is zero, trash. Okay, they like what's your boy Luka Doncic on defense. Okay, all that offense with no defense. Okay, so this works well for Russia and China. That Iran is bleeding. Okay, American stockpile. Okay, and they don't have the manufacturing to produce fast enough, and they're going to be missing rare earth minerals to even come up with certain their go-to weapons, which is their tomahawk and those J-dams, man. You know, that's what they used in Gaza to turn Gaza into, all right, rubble. Okay, and they want to do the same thing in Tehran, but they're beginning to run out. Okay, and then they have a hard time getting close to Tehran because Iran still has air superiority. Well, they have air deterrence. Okay, so this what he finna say. It made me think. It got me wondering. Okay, what the hell is Russia finna do in these next 3 weeks, man? All right, but let's play this.
By applying more pressure. The fact that Iran right now is using more drones to strike targets inside Saudi Arabia and inside Israel, what does that tell you? That tells you that their air defense system's now not functioning, because those drones fly slow enough that the Iron Dome and David Sling should be able to take them out. And there was just I saw a news report from Israel earlier today that they're starting an investigation because one of these Iranian missiles struck a major target up northern Israel, and it was completely unopposed. There was no Iron Dome, no David Sling, no protection. So I can see in this Russia has a clear incentive to, if you will, put more stress on the U.S. system.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do.
I was talking to Malcolm Nance a few days ago, and he was warning about something that more and more people are talking about now, and that is a ground operation by Iran against the Gulf. There's a million troops sitting there doing nothing, the besieged, the Artesh, the traditional military, the IRGC. How realistic is that? How difficult or easy would it be for?
Yeah, so that's pretty much the point. I don't know if I missed it, but let me see. I don't know if I skipped over. Let me see, because he said
being ready to do something diplomatically.
Here, this is the main point I wanted right here. So like I had skipped over. So Larry had he gonna say it. Let me see.
When you and I were there together last March. Systems. They don't have a basis of popular support. And so what if the UAE and Saudi Arabia say, okay, we're entering the war now? With what? You know, it's not like they got a mass Praetorian guard of very effective fighters. So all they're going to do is then make themselves a bigger target, because up to this point, Iran has not been going after their military infrastructure. They've been going after the U.S. military infrastructure in those countries. The other players here are China and Russia that are going, again, the word I got, I was supposed to go to Russia mid-April with the International Unity Club. You know, it's similar to like when you and I were there together last March. And it was, they got the word, hey, the Kremlin, because there were speakers and people involved from the Putin administration, they shut it down. They said, no, can't handle this now because we're focused on the war in Iran. So Russia's getting ready to do something diplomatically, militarily, I don't know what, but Russia's going to get more involved within the next 3 weeks. And I think part of it is to see if they can find a negotiated settlement. What we're witnessing, though.
Yeah, so he said he had plans to go to Russia in you know, this month, next month, you know, and Russia don't cancel. Okay, because Russia's telling him like, look, we got to focus on this war with Iran. You know, so he's like, Russia's gonna get ready to do something in 3 weeks. You know, so we don't know what they finna do. You know, if they gonna try to broker some type of ceasefire, okay, or they gonna get, you know, more engaged. We'll see. You know, but we know one thing, all right, that this is nothing but prophecy. Okay, because when you go here, All right, your brother got it. Yep, it's your brother Warriors for Yahweh Shai. Isaiah 21:2 says, "A grievous vision is declared unto me. The treacherous dealer treacherously," and that's America. Okay, because America is used to being the one that having the leverage to where they've been able to deal treacherously in the earth. But now leverage is shifting towards, all right, Russia, China, and Iran. Okay, and they getting ready to deal treacherously with America, man. Okay, it says, "And the spoiler, go up." Okay, O Elam, which is Iran, O Media, which is Russia, all the sign thereof have I caused to cease. You know, so all the complaining and groaning about America, its wicked policies, and its illegal wars, and its illegal occupations, and the stealing of resources. See, now they're not just complaining to the UN about America anymore. Now they're getting active with the whore. Okay, now they're beginning to engage with the whore, and it's going to lead to, okay, America being the lake of fire, man. Okay, so I'll leave it there. Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you sisters edified once again. We'll give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessing salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom.